Hi, hello, good day. Welcome to the demo session on Oracle 11G Auto Core DB and Linux course. And first of all, I thank you for opting Oracle to give you a better course and to build up your career. So coming to details of this course is comprised of three multiple subcourses and three courses. What are they? SQL Fundamentals 1 and Linux Basics and Core DBA. So if you take this course, you are learning three concepts or three sub courses together. One is in detail about SQL fundamentals, in detail about Linux commands, and in detail about Core DBA concepts with real-time approach. So these are the three things that you are going to learn with this course. And one more point that I would like to make it clear is this course is best suitable for the beginners who doesn't know any knowledge or doesn't have any knowledge on the Core DBA concepts. And it is not just for beginners. If there are few people who are intermediate with partial knowledge on Oracle database administration concepts as well as SQL and Linux, this course will be completely suiting their purpose. Now coming to in details about this demonstration. So in this demo video you will be actually going through all the contents of this course which you have already seen in the website, but we are going to see after this introduction about the concepts, we will be seeing with examples, one from SQL fundamentals course, one from Linux course, and one from Core DBA course, to demonstrate how would be the mode of training and the quality of training. And coming to just contents of this course, first, as I said, this sub course will completely cover about SQL fundamentals, and for you guys to practice on your own systems on only SQL, that is sequential query language, I'll be first of all explaining you guys how to install the express edition of Oracle database on your local machines. Possibly all the machines will be Windows, so I'll be explaining on them. And this particular installation you will be only using for your SQL practices. That's it. And next we will be dealing completely about basics of a select statement, and how do we, within the select statement, how do we restrict the data and sort the data. And after that we will be understanding or learning functions. What are the different types of functions available in Oracle database and what are they? And these are the second level of functions. Next is we will be understanding completely about joins. How do we actually fetch the data from multiple tables with a single command is what you will learn in this chapter. And next we will be learning how do we actually write a subquery and in what scenarios it will be useful. And then we will be learning about set operators and then manipulating data. Until 9th chapter we will be only concentrating on retrieving the data. That means how do we select the data from the database. But from 10th chapter, or that is 10th chapter, will completely deal about manipulating the existing data or adding the new data into the database. Then we will be seeing DDL statements. DDL statements will cover about, creating tables, dropping tables, modifying the existing tables, etc. And apart from, until 11th chapter, we will be only dealing with tables. But not just tables are available on the database. There are other objects also available on the database. We will be dealing 4 important objects called indexes, sequences, synonyms, and then views. So we will be covering all these things in the SQL fundamentals course. So let me take one example from joins and show you how would I train on joins. So let us start with, first of all connecting to my database server, which is on Linux at the moment. But still, as I said you guys, I'll be explaining you how to install Express Edition and how to use that for practice purposes. So I have my system on Linux now at the moment. So I'm bringing up my database. So now as the database has come up, for this demonstration purpose, I'll create 2 tables. One is T10, which is of C1 varchar 2 of 2 and C2 number of 2 as an example. And then I'll insert some data into this, into T10 values ampersand C1 and then ampersand C2. And let me try to insert some data. So I'm saving the data. So let me fetch the data from the table T10 and show you the content that I have inserted. Now I'm creating another table with T11 and not with the same column names, but only one column name should be common, because I'm trying to demonstrate natural join how it gonna be. So as I'm trying to demonstrate natural join, so I'll tell you the terms and conditions for natural join to work properly. So let me try to insert data into this table as well. How do we insert? Let me show you the same way that we have followed. So first one can be A 2, B 5, some different data. So G 6, H and 8. So commit it. Let us now see that both the table datas. One is from T10 and one is from T11. So now if I wanted to write a single select statement between these two tables and I wanted to perform a natural join between these two tables. So what are the prerequisites to perform a natural join between two tables? Prerequisite is to have at least one common column name between two tables. That is the first prerequisites to use natural join. And after that, the character or the data type in both these columns should match. For example, if you have data type here number and if you have character here, you cannot perform a natural join between these two. So let me repeat two prerequisites. You should have at least one common column between two tables, and for those common columns, you should have the same data types in both the tables. That is what the prerequisites to perform a natural join. So now let me write a natural join query. T1, this is the syntax, natural join T11. Now you see the natural join has happened. It is going and getting us the data between the two tables called T10 and T11, performing a natural join operation. How did it perform? With the help of the column called C1 from table T10 and with the help of column C1 from table T11. If you see the logic that it has used to join these two tables is the data from C1 of T1 should be equal to the data of C1 from T11. So if you compare these two things, only A is matching with here and B is matching here. But C is not available in T11, D is not available in T11. So for this matching data from column C1, you have got a natural join established. So this is a small example of demonstrating how natural join works in reality. And this is just as a demo. We have many different types of using joins in the database. So we will be dealing in detail when you take this course. Now, the next part of this course would be Linux administration or Linux basics, you have to say. So at this point, I'll be explaining you guys how to install a Linux operating system. That will be Oracle Enterprise Linux is what I will be preferring to install through the course and throughout the course. And then I'll be helping you guys how to configure the putty that I'm currently using. People will call this as putty or putty, so it can be any of the names that you call. So I'll be explaining you how do we configure this particular putty session. So for your Linux that you install on your VMware or VM virtual machine, you have to say first. So next I will be explaining you guys how do we install or what are the different commands that Oracle DBA will be required in reality, and I'll be explaining them each and every command in detail. So as an example, I'll take one particular command at the moment to explain you how does it work. I will be taking a very simple example called ls-ltr. If people already know how does ls-ltr works, no problem. But I'll try to explain this very simply and straightforward. ls is the command, actual command to list the files in the current directory. That's it. So if you see here, ls is the one, that is, if you just give ls, that is the actual command on the operating system which will list the files or the directories which are available in the current location. This is this definition of ls command. Now coming to ls-l, only ls-l will list out all the files in the current location, but along with that, you have got the details of the files as well. L means list it out. List the files, but along with that, list the details of the files. So it will be listing out the permissions of the file, who is the owner of the file, owner is part of which group, and what is the size of the file, when was it last modified, and what is the file name. These are the different details that ls-l will give you as an output. Now, the next thing is whenever you add t to along with l, you are now seeing the same data as you have seen above, but if you have observed or not, the files have been ordered or sorted in the descending order of your time created. So because I have given T here, so it has actually performed a descending order of the latest modified files on the top. So if you see, this is the latest modified file out of all those things. That's the reason it is on the top. Next latest modified file is this. Next latest modified file is this, and the last latest modified is this. So when you give T, the files will be ordered in the ascending order of the timestamp it has modified earlier. That is what the meaning of T. And the next thing is ls-ltr. When you add R, what happens? R is nothing but reverse order. Here it has ordered in descending order of timestamp of last modified. Now if you see, it is exactly reverse of the earlier output. That means it will be reversing the time. That means whatever descending order of time it has created as the output, now it is the reverse of whatever it has done. So R means reversing the timestamp descending order format that it does in default. So now it is in ascending order format. This is the meaning of ls-ltr command. What does it do? Now you have a very good picture. Now understanding how Linux, demo, let us now start to see what are the different concepts covered in Oracle Database Administration and a small demo on top of it. So first we will be covering how do we install Oracle Database. That covers the approach, how do we follow in reality. And next we will understand completely about Oracle Database architecture. And then we will cover storage architecture. Then we will be covering initialization parameters. That covers SP file, parameter file, and P file. We call it as P file in short. The concepts of SP file and P file, and how do we actually, what is the difference of dynamic static parameters and how do we modify with SP file or P file. And we will be actually understanding how do we start up and stop the database. What are the different types of starting up and stopping the database and understanding their behavior. Next, we will understand how do we configure Oracle network, with the help of which Oracle applications, that means applications which are sitting on top of the Oracle database, how they are able to communicate to the database over the network is what we will be configuring in chapter number 6. Next, we will be completely understanding how do we manage the storage architectures. We have seen that storage architecture here, but now we will be understanding how do we manage them, how do we create, how do we drop, how do we modify existing tables, etc., etc. And then we will be understanding users. How do we create users in the database and how do we modify the existing users, delete them, create them, etc. And then we will be understanding how do we manage data and its concurrency. What does it mean? Whenever somebody is modifying the data in the database, we have to make sure, or the database has to make sure, that at the same time other person is not modifying the same data. How is it actually performing is what we will understand in this chapter. Managing undo data. There is one of the data files in the database called undo. As we know that whenever you are using a Word document or Excel sheet, if you modified something and if you wanted to get back to the old data, you will use Control Z or you will go to undo. Very similar to that in the database also, if you perform some modifications to the table data, you can get back to the old value. That is with the help of undo table space. You will understand more in detail about that in this chapter. And next we will be understanding what are the different performance management areas you as a DBA has to worry about whenever you are dealing with performance management. And next, the most important activity or the responsibility of the DBA is to worry about backups and recoveries of the database that has to be scheduled daily. So I'll be explaining you in the chapter number 12, 13 and 14 what are the different types of backups, what are the different backups you schedule daily, and how do we recover the database in case of any failures. Please remember, we are going to cover only concepts in all these things with a real-time approach. That means I'll be explaining you the concepts and I'll be showing you how that concept will be applicable in reality as well. And next we will be performing moving data. Moving data is the chapter which covers how do we move the existing table or copy the existing table from one database to another database. What are the different ways of performing that? And the last chapter will be covering completely about how do we as an Oracle DBA, if you have any issues at the software level which are not able to be resolved by the DBA, we have to go and approach Oracle Corporation. So how do we approach Oracle Corporation is what covered in chapter number 16. Now let us take a very small example in reality to show you one of the concepts. So let us take this concept called SP file and P file. So let us take that small concept. So we have the SP file and P file. The concept about SP file and P file is like this. By default, SP file or P file of the database will be located in Oracle home/DBS location. So what is Oracle home? Oracle home is the location where you install your Oracle software. So if you see that, what is the location where you installed Oracle software in this server? This is the location where I installed Oracle database software. Within this directory, there is a subdirectory called DBS. Your SP file and P file of the database will always be located in this location. So if you see here, this is the naming convention of P file and this is the naming convention of your SP file. What is the naming convention? For P file, it will be init followed by database sid.ora. And for SP file, it is SP file followed by database sid.ora. This is the naming convention for SP file and P file, which is standard across the globe. And now the other concept is, if you have both SP file and P file available on the database server, whenever you are starting up the database will always prefer to use SP file, not P file to start up. That's the concept. Now as you see here, I already set up the environment variables and I started the database. Now if I wanted to check if my database has been started with SP file or P file, I'll just give show parameter SP file. If you see here, my database has been started with SP file. That is what I identified. And if you remember, at the beginning of this session, I have just gave startup command. That's it. As soon as I gave startup command, database has been started. Now it is proving us that if SP file and P file both are available on the server, the database will pick up the SP file as the preferred file to start the instance. This is the basic concept that every DBA should understand. And if you ask me what is the difference between SP file and P file is a text-based format of holding the parameters of the database, and SP file is the binary format of holding the parameters in the database. And if you ask me, how do we actually force the database to start with the help of the P file even when SP file is available? We can do that. How? Let me shut down the database first, then I'll show you how do we forcibly tell the database to use P file instead of SP file. So let the shutdown completes, then I'll tell you how is that possible. Now you say startup, you have to specify the parameter called P file is equals to init oradb.ora. Now the database is starting with P file. So this is how we force the database to start with P file even when SP file is existing on the database server. So now if you fire this command, you will see there is no value for SP file. This shows that your database is up and running with P file. So this is a small example to demonstrate the concepts behind understanding the differences between SP file and P file. Please remember, this is not the end. There are much more differences between SP file and P file that will be covered in detail in this chapter. And now, understanding this demonstration, let us understand what do you get in this course completely. So as you see that we have typed everything on the putty session, or now let me show you what is that you get every day. So let me shut down my server and show you something interesting now. Now as you see on the screen, whatever I have typed in my putty session, everything has been logged in a log file. So every day after this session, you will be getting this log file for your references about the commands that I have used and how did I create the table, and step-by-step process will be there always with you. This is one benefit that you get from the course. And the next benefit that you get from the course is each and every session is recorded. So as you see on the screen, each and every session will be recorded, and these sessions will be shared on the daily basis exactly after the session every day. That means whatever I speak in the session will not be missed at any point of time. You will be having all the details in the video as well. If you miss understanding in the normal session, you still have a chance to review in the video. That is the next benefit that you are going to get from this course. And the next benefit, the third benefit that you get is all this course concepts are actually documented properly in our documents. So you will be getting that document in detail just after completing the course, each and every sub-course, so that you also have the document for your future references. So these are the advantages that you get when you take this course. And now I hope that it is interesting for you guys to take up the course. And if you want to reach us, or if you want to enroll for this course, you can find enroll button on the same page. You can go and click the enroll button and fill in your details. We'll get back to you. And if you have any queries, you can reach us on any one of these modes of approach. You can contact us or SMS us, or you can call us on this number or WhatsApp on this number. We'll try to do the best that we can. Hope to see you guys in the sessions. Thank you and have a nice day again.